I'm in Milan, Italy right now, and I just came from Zurich, Switzerland. Now, this isn't my first time traveling and doing Amazon FBA remotely, but I can tell you one thing. It feels surreal to me every time I step foot in the streets and knowing that I have the ability to go back to a room, a hotel, an apartment, wherever it may be, and just flip open my laptop to create a remote income or to make money. Because regardless of the thousands of places I've now been to around the world, Italy, Asia, Africa, places in Europe, you name it, I can look to my left and right and see people who have a physically labored job, or even people who are rushing during rush hour to work on a day-to-day basis. And it just, I couldn't be more grateful knowing my way of creating income, creating a living, and creating a life for myself and a future family. So as I've said many times, Amazon FBA comes with its tons of benefits financially. And it also comes with its benefits of freedom geographically. As you can tell, I'm in Italy on the rooftop of a balcony. But almost more importantly, it comes with time freedom. So, as maybe most of you know or don't know, Italy and most of Europe is 6 hours ahead of the United States in New York. Now, it's 9 hours ahead in California and so on. But being here in Italy, most people living in the US can't run their business, can't remote work, and so on because of the time zone difference. You'd have to work late hours, early mornings, whatever it may be. But with Amazon FBA being a 24-hour business on the clock that never stops, I'm able to open up the laptop at 8 or open up the laptop at 2 with no difference. I have communication, of course, with suppliers and other people I have to talk to back in the US frequently, but I run on a timing that I create, a schedule that I create, regardless of the time zone that I'm in. Asia is 12 hours. At the end of the year, I'll be in Tokyo, I'll be in Japan, then I'll be in the Philippines, then I'll be in Thailand, and that's all a 12-hour time difference, sometimes even more in certain places on that side of the world. So that time difference is what I really want to focus on with this video because, like I said, Amazon FBA has taken me to Italy. There's no other way you can put this. I'm on a balcony in Italy, right? As I've said a few times now. And sometimes it feels a bit surreal to me that my goal when I first started Amazon FBA was to be in this country. And now I'm shooting a video for thousands, hopefully millions one day, or even hundreds of people to watch, knowing that I had a dream to work in a cafe in Italy, right? There's cafes every single corner and block that you look at because that's the kind of culture it is here. And I wanted to work at one of those cafes just to live in this country. But now, I'm traveling through this country in a much better position financially than I would be if I worked at the cafe, and a lot more freedom than I could have ever imagined when I got my start into entrepreneurship or business. So, this is pretty surreal to me. And this country is obviously very special to me with my family being from here, having family from here, and traveling through it a lot. But more importantly, one of the most special parts about it was I had this goal of coming to this country and traveling here frequently before I even had Amazon FBA, right? Like before I even had revenue, income, or a certain number I wanted to hit, I wanted to be here. So yeah, I've been to Switzerland. I've been to everywhere in Europe pretty much. I've been to Thailand, a lot of places, countries in Africa, and the traveling will never stop, right? Like I have so many trips planned up with Norway, Ireland, Austria, Croatia, a ton of places out in Southeast Asia, Singapore, Dubai. But, you know, this was always the dream and this was always the goal. Maybe not just the city of Milan, but this entire country of Italy, because people dream of living that sweet life in Italy and that calm, you know, cool life of living and working and but enjoying your cappuccino in the morning, enjoying your dinner with your friends, your family, your spouses, and just having that calm, cool life. Because back in America, back in the US, as many of you know, and as well as the UK or Canada, because they have this culture as well, it's all work, work, work. And I never wanted that. So when I say Amazon FBA took me to Milan, It's the truth, because it didn't just take me to Milan, it's allowing me to work here in Milan or work here in Italy, not just be here or live here. And to have that freedom where tomorrow's Monday, I don't have to worry about waking up at a certain time to get this task done or have this meeting done. I'm going to enjoy the Monday and work hard because I love the business like I always do, right? Tonight, I'm heading to a pretty big soccer match in the city, AC Milan versus Bologna, because I'm a fan. And I'll be out pretty late, and maybe I won't be able to wake up at 6 o'clock tomorrow, but maybe I will because I love the business. But that freedom that I had, that freedom of time and choice, is everything to me. And that's why I started the channel and making these videos, because I know there's millions of you out there and thousands of you guys who dream about this remote freedom and remote income and kind of scramble to it. And I was the same way kind of in my last year of college and looking at what I could do and how can I get here to Italy. And I think if I can just inspire you guys one step at a time to know that this is possible and how quick it could change. I always famously say that 12 months from the day I started, I was on a one-way flight to Portugal, right? Europe. So, and obviously it can happen much, much quicker. And I was very immature and novice in business back then, and I didn't know how things worked. So the good thing is that Amazon FBA is not the only online source of income out there. I'm sure there's other businesses, side hustles, and online e-commerce or income models that do really well for people, right? I know a lot of people who do drop shipping very successfully. I know a lot of people who do Amazon FBA very successfully. And there's millions of other businesses to do successfully online. Like I always say, I'm a big believer in Amazon FBA because the ease to get started into the business and the lack of knowledge you need in online business to find a lot of success with it. But of course, at the end of the day, I'm going to preach for online income, remote income, and online businesses across the world, because that gives you the ultimate freedom. And many of you might think like, well, there's no way I could do that because my situation is this, and that. But the truth is, I've met millions of people from every single different background and every single different situation that started from nothing, started from it all, started with this, switched to this, had no information, went to this. So yes, you can do it. And it is more than possible. It's real. All right. I've met so many people in different types of businesses finding success that you would never even imagine. And they probably started a lot before you, right? That they didn't a lot behind you. In other words, meaning that they didn't know this, they didn't know that. You have a lot more skills than you can imagine and you can think of. It's important for you just to pull it out of yourself. And all you do is just start learning. Watch videos. I have a ton of videos on my channel, right? Just get motivated day by day and understanding what works in an online business, what works in Amazon FBA, what doesn't work, and continue to approach it with everything possible. Because at the end of the day, you can flash the revenue, the profit, the high income, the great numbers that everybody wants to do and live in a big house, have a fancy car, impress their family and friends. I know that's pretty much a lot of people want to do that in this world. But at the end of the day, you can't fake this. You can't fake being in Milan, Italy on a Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday and work begins again for most and majority of the people in the city. But for the online workers who build their freedom, you can go and work when you want and work at your own pace. I know there's just going to be at least one person who watches this video and raises their eyebrows and say, wow, it is possible. Jay was no special human or some alien from outer space that started this business and found success. Jay was a regular person who started with no money to his name, no knowledge, and a lot of fear. And I'm sure a lot of people who start this business or start any online business is going to have fear, and it's normal. It's just the truth. It's normal. I had a lot of fear. Everybody who starts has a lot of fear. And as you continue to grow in business, truth is you're going to have no idea what you're doing. But you're going to find success, stay motivated, and keep going one day at a time. And that's what it's all about. That's the dream, and that's going to take you to places here around the world. So as I continue to go to more countries, and I go to the Philippines at the end of the year, back to Thailand, Japan, and who else knows towards the end of the year, even be stopping in Puerto Rico, I'm going to keep making these videos, these one-on-one videos, just talking to you guys, inspiring and motivating, because the educational stuff is great and that's going to help you go from zero to starting. But the inspirational stuff and the motivational stuff is important to me, because as you continue to see me in new areas, new places geographically around the world, you'll see how more and more real it is and how possible it is for you, right? So I love shooting these videos and I love inspiring you guys one step at a time. All I ask for you is to subscribe and stick around to the channel, because it's going to help you motivate yourself and help me grow to continue to make these videos and keep going one day at a time. So there we are on a balcony in Milan, Italy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go.